All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's webinar, Advanced Facebook Strategies for Your Business. This webinar is part of CCIQ's digital learning series and is brought to you in partnership with the Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games. My name is James Flaherty and I'm your facilitator for today's webinar. Alongside me, I'm delighted to have Paul Bebbington from the department, who will be today's main presenter. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks, James. My name is Paul Bebbington and I'm a web content editor with the Department of Tourism, Major Events, Small Business and the Commonwealth Games, known as DTESB. My main role is to craft business-focused content and solutions for the Business and Industry portal. And I've delivered a number of webinars on various topics, including business continuity planning, strengthening your business, and the ABA and ableist. Now, just a few housekeeping issues. You'll notice over on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a panel. There are a couple of functions on that panel I'd like you to direct your attention to. So if you could find the hand-raising function, there's a little hand there, and see if you could pop your hand up for us. Great. Good on you. Now, the other options that will allow you to interact with us are the questions panel and the chat function. So I do invite questions. But as we go through today's webinar, I'm sure you'll have many questions. So rather than interrupt the presentation and cover something we might get to later, I want you to write those down for yourself or put them in the chat box there. We'll answer them towards the end of the webinar.
Good stuff. So look, we'll be on air today for about 45 minutes, and then following on from today's webinar, it'll be tomorrow morning, you'll all receive an email which will contain a link to the webinar recording, the presentation slides, and a copy of a workbook which really complements the content that you'll see today. Don't forget there will be the opportunity to ask questions later on, so send those through to Paul at any time. But without further ado, Paul, it's over to you to talk about advanced Facebook strategies for business.
Thanks, James. Well, I'll start by asking you, hands up for those who attended our earlier webinar on Introduction to Facebook for Your Business. Right, great. It's good to see there's a good number of you returning from that, and I'd say maybe about a third of you. And if you didn't attend and are interested, I'd encourage you to listen to the recording because we do go over a lot of the structure and the strategy in that one. So I'm going to assume you all know, that all of you today know about how to set up a Facebook business page, that you know the difference between timelines, pages, groups and events. You also know why you should be doing your Facebook in conjunction with your website rather than in place of it. Now, most importantly, that you know how to post as your business page versus as an individual. Now, if any of you didn't make sense, or any of that didn't make sense to you, again, I encourage you to review this morning's recording. For the first part of today's session, we're going to be looking at the real value of likes on Facebook. And this will then lead into a discussion on engagement and Facebook's EdgeRank, which determines how many people will see your content. We'll then cover running promotions and offers and using plugins for your website and measuring your results through insights. We'll also look at Facebook graph search and how important that is for small business. Many people think that a higher number of Facebook likes equals a wider reach for marketing messages. However, given that your Facebook posts are unlikely to appear in the news feeds of all of your fans, it's often a pretty superficial objective. It's estimated that just 9% of your fans will see your post. When you first set up a Facebook business page, everybody starts talking about engagement. So what's that about? Engagement is simply people doing something with the content on your page. So this could be getting likes, comments, shares, ads, and promoted stories. There are a number of strategies to get engagement on your page. But this quote from Nick Bowditch, who's the small business manager for Facebook in Australia and New Zealand, this says it all. And he says simply, to improve engagement, you need to be more engaging. So if people are not engaging with your content, perhaps your content's not engaging for them. So you need to look at how to change your content and your strategy to entice people to interact more. There are ways to increase the likelihood of it appearing in more news feeds, though, and we'll look into the main tips later today. Facebook's all about engagement. Facebook encourages brands to interact with and engage their audience for the opportunity to reach more users in the future. What we need to remember is that though they may have liked us on Facebook, it doesn't mean that they do in real life. In a study by Forbes, it was found that 46% of Facebook users have liked a brand that they have no intention of buying. And of those, 52% liked a brand just to get a free item. 46% also said they like brands even if they can't afford the brand's product. So they're just because they like you on Facebook doesn't mean that they really like you or that they buy from you or even want to buy from you in the future.
Okay, on the engagement subject, we're going to do our first poll now. So the question is, what type of content do you think attracts the most engagement from Facebook users? Now, you'll be able to select one of the three options of photo album, photo, or video on screen now, and we'll have the results with you shortly. Paul, I think this will be an interesting poll, because I don't know about you, I tend to click on the photos, but for instance, really don't like the way Facebook has just changed to autoplay video content.
That's right. I mean, Facebook is changing things all the time, and I mean, I definitely like going to those photo albums and things like that. But you know, a lot of the share features mean things are thrown up in front of you all the time. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what users think in terms of what's most interesting content.
And also, I think your point about likes being meaningless if they're liked in their millions. I doesn't go by a week where I don't get an email from somebody promising me 1 million likes on my Facebook page, and I'm sure that somebody out there in India and China can deliver you this number of likes, but ultimately they're going to be completely meaningless for your business.
That's right, and look, later on we're going to talk about how that can really backfire on you if you just go out garnering likes without any sort of quality offering for your customers. So it's a really important issue to think through, because sometimes it's easy to just put that as the measure on your success when you don't consider other issues.
Good stuff. And the results are in now, and it's individual photo is the clear leader, with 71% of users thinking that is the top engagement tool on Facebook.
Yeah, right. That's very interesting. And look, some of the figures say that a photo album generates about 180% more engagement. That's at the top of the pecking order. A photo, an individual photo, about 120% more. And if you think about it, I suppose an individual image someone can look at quite easily, whereas an album, something that requires them to go into a range of photos, and a video gives 100% more engagement than the average post. I suppose it requires a bit more commitment of time from the user. So what are you going to do from now on? You need to include lots of albums, photos, and videos, because they all generate more engagement than just pure word posts. Now, EdgeRank is the algorithm that Facebook uses to determine what content is displayed in the user's newsfeed. And there are three components to how Facebook gauges the quality of your content. And just like we have search engine optimization, SEO, to get your website to the top of a Google search, on Facebook they have NFO, or newsfeed optimization. They use this algorithm to determine or to decide how many of the people that like your page get to see each post, and how long they hold your posts in the upper regions of the newsfeed. This is only really important when people are looking at the most popular post rather than the most recent post in the newsfeed. But more and more people are just defaulting to the most popular posts. So with more than 1.1 billion users on Facebook, it's not surprising there's a lot of information going up, and there are millions of posts going out there that you need to compete with and cut through. So you need to cut through the noise. And how do you do it? You do it by being successful with EdgeRank. An actively engaged follower equals a successful page. So we don't just want people to like your page, we want them to do something with your content. Creating compelling content is the first step. Status updates are great, but none of us tend to read very much anymore, and photographs far outweigh all other types of status updates. Competitions and rewards are something where your audience feels they are getting a unique experience, or that there's something in it for them, and they tend to invite more engagement. Now, pages judged to have a good edge rank will appear in a greater number of news feeds, or they'll get a greater reach, and all that means is more people potentially get to see the post. As I said, EdgeRank has three components, so affinity, weight, and what they call time decay. Affinity is based on the user's relationship with your posts and your news feed. So how users interact with your posts, this determines how many more people get to see it. So if people comment on or like posts from you, the likelihood that future content will appear in their news feeds from your business is much higher than if they don't interact with your content. Now, weight is determined by the type of post. A photo or video link will have a higher weight than a simple text post. I do know that some text posts can have a higher reach because Facebook likes text posts, but because they're smaller and they can fit more of them along the page, that's why they like them. But if you do a lot of text posts, by that I just mean a status update that's only text, people tend not to engage with them as much. But if you put a photo up and ask people if they like it, they're more inclined to engage with it. If people are interacting with your page by liking or commenting on or sharing it, it's more valuable than a post that has no interaction happening at all. The third part of the puzzle is time decay. This is as time between your posts gets longer, the lower the value of your next post. So ideally, statistically, this has been proven, Maximum engagement occurs when you post between once a day and once every other day on your Facebook page. If you're posting less than every second day, too much time occurs between your posts, and you're not giving people the opportunity to interact because they're not getting to see your post. And over time, Facebook says your posts are less valuable because your audience is doing nothing with them. So going the other way and post 4 or 5 or more times a day, and it becomes like spam and people start hiding your posts. So what you must do is you need to tailor the number of posts to your audience. You need to get to know them. The website on your screen contains good information on the algorithm, just at the bottom there. So how do you increase your EdgeRank rating? Well, put simply, your page's rating is guided by how successfully you're engaging with followers. One method is to ask a question or post an easy poll relevant to your business and of interest to followers to get people talking on and about your page and products. You need to start a two-way dialogue in this way, which can create a dynamic conversation on your Facebook page between your followers and your brand. Look, the greater the interaction, the higher your EdgeRank. Another method is to use the pin and highlight functions on your page. So pinned posts are posts that administrators have chosen to display prominently on their page. A pinned post always appears in the top left of a page's timeline and has a flag in its top right corner. A post that a page administrator pins will remain there for 7 days, and after that it will return to its original position on the date it was posted on the timeline. A highlighted post is content that the page administrator has chosen to highlight in its current location. So once highlighted, the post appears across the width of the timeline, and therefore it significantly increases its size and visibility. This is particularly effective with photographs and video content. There are 10 tips for you to increase your Facebook engagement, and you can find more information on each of these in your workbook. The first is include a call to action. So you need to ask your followers to like, comment, or share your content. Caption this or fill in the blanks exercises work really well too. And secondly, you need to create events for sales, promotions, VIP events, that kind of thing. When a follower accepts the invite, the acceptance update will appear in their friends' news feeds. Now, timely and relevant posts, that's number 3, they make it worth their while to look out for your updates. So reward these with offers, contests, free samples, that kind of thing. Number 4, you need to mix up your posts and keep them short. Keep your posts to under 80 characters where possible, because no one wants to read through long copy anymore. And number 5, high engagement day or times. The best days are on the weekend, and the best times are between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. But this would vary depending on the business, so you need to make sure you test this out for yourself. Number 6, you need to humanize your business. So use first person and a conversational tone. You display community managers' names or photos or add their signatures to the post. These are people who work for you or administrators. Number 7, it's about follower feedback. So use followers for feedback and business ideas and ask them what products they'd like to see. Number 8 is about frequency. So as a general rule, no more than twice a day and no more than 7 times a week. This will vary depending on your business, so make sure you do your own testing and make sure you find out what your followers like to do. And number 9 is emoticons. So posts that contain emoticons, they receive 52% higher interaction rates. So that's the semicolon, the closed bracket, winky face, that kind of thing. And number 10 is exclusive content. So give them a reason that they liked your page. Now, promotions are an easy way to draw attention to your page and increase followers. Facebook competitions and promotions can help your business. They do this by reinvigorating your existing follower base so they actively engage with your page. They promote your business, a new offering or an event. They help you by raising further awareness of your business and the Facebook page. They encourage additional page likes, and they can increase your email marketing database. It's important to note that Facebook have their own promotional guidelines though, and this link at the bottom of the page and more information will be available in your workbook. Offers are used to promote a special, a discount or giveaway to encourage people to engage with a Facebook page, your website or even your physical store. It could include a percentage discount on merchandise, a buy one get one free deal, a bonus item, that kind of thing. But you need to take note that Facebook offers, they need a budget to run. So for more information, check out the link on your screen. And it's also going to be on your workbook. In addition to the free engagement options that Facebook offers, businesses may also choose to use paid ads to extend their reach to current and potential customers and followers. And these paid ads appear in the user's news feeds without the requirement for someone to have liked or shared the content. Now, the opportunity provided by Facebook ads is It gives you the ability to target specific demographics based on location, age, gender, relationship status, educational status, and likes. You can find a step-by-step guide to setting up an ad in your workbook too. Facebook social plugins, they're links that can be placed on your business's website to encourage more traffic to your Facebook page. These plugins allow people who are browsing your business website to comment, share, or like content from your website on Facebook for their friends to see. There's a wide range of plugin buttons that can be installed, each with a specific purpose. They include liking an item, subscribing, recommending, commenting, that kind of thing. Facebook creates the code for you to implement on your website so your visitors can see what their friends have liked, commented, or shared. Now, one example I'll draw your attention to is the like box. You can embed this like box on your website page, which means when you post on your Facebook page, you have the option of bringing the post across into this plugin as a feed on your website page. Now, this does two things. It allows people to like your Facebook page directly from your website, and it also says to Google that your website has new content every time you're posting on your Facebook page. And I think that's very economical in terms of your time in creating content and getting it across to more places. Now, full descriptions of commonly used plugins can be found in your workbooks along with a link for website developers. Facebook Insights allows Facebook page owners to track and analyze trends specific to your page and followers. Understanding how your followers use your page provides an opportunity to improve the page and content to make sure it's reaching and engaging your target audience. Facebook Insights allows you to analyze information like follower-based growth, follower demographics, popular posts, and the virality of your posts, you could call it, whether it's going viral. So for a business, keeping track and reporting on the success of your Facebook activities will allow you to see the return on your investment of time and effort. It also allows you to tailor and amend your Facebook strategy to make sure you're posting relevant content at times your followers are likely to be using Facebook. To access Facebook Insights, you can go to facebook.com/insights, and it will walk you through exactly what Insights does and it'll teach you all of the terminology. I recommend you spend some time in that link that you can see on the page as well. That'll be valuable homework for you too. In 2013, Facebook officially launched the Facebook Graph search. Graph, as it's known, gives users recommendations based on their Facebook activity, including their likes, check-ins, videos, games, and photographs. Graph allows users to drill down to very specific questions about friends' interests, business recommendations, and even viewing their photographs on specific topics. Graph search results are personalized for each user. For example, if you were holidaying in London and wanted to visit a restaurant, you could ask for restaurants in London my friends have been to, and the search then provides you with details of restaurants that have been frequented by your friends. And this means if two people search the same thing, restaurants in London my friends have been to, they're going to see different results. The implication for business is the importance that will be placed on people liking your business and having positive experiences. So a Facebook like is effectively a searchable word-of-mouth recommendation from a friend. Don't forget to promote your page elsewhere too. So include links to your Facebook page everywhere. Put icons in prominent locations on your website or blog. Suggest to friends. Include it in your email signature. Include it on email broadcast templates. Feature it on signage and put it on other social media sites or link to it from other social media sites like Twitter and YouTube. Put it on your business cards and also make sure it's in external advertising. So anything on TV, radio, print or online. In summary, today we've given you heaps of information. And the real value about likes is to do with quality, not quantity. On Facebook, it's all about who's talking about you rather than looking at how many likes you have on your page. So please never, ever, ever buy likes on a page. Not only are they a waste of time, they're normally in Romania somewhere, on some foreign land. They're probably a robot. But in fact, if you think about it, if you have 100 likes on your page and 10 people are talking about it, they're engaging, and you have an engagement score of 10%. If you then go and buy 1,000 likes, you now have 1,100 likes, but you still only have 10 people talking about you. So your engagement rate has dropped from 10% to 1%, and all of your content has just become less valuable in Facebook's eyes. So the first 100 people are less likely to actually see your content to get engaged with it in the first place. Promotions and offers are valuable, but make sure you're playing by the rules and you understand them before you start. Look at your Facebook Insights and ask, do we actually get the results we're looking for here? And keep in mind that EdgeRank and engagement are important, But remember, if people are not engaging with your content, it's because your content is not engaging.
Good stuff. Thanks very much, Paul. There were some great insights there that explain some of the more technical and complex aspects of working with Facebook. Time to take some questions now. We've had questions coming in throughout the session, so please don't forget to use the panel you've got on screen at the moment to send through questions for Paul. So here we go, Paul. First question has come in from Kirsty, and it's really round about how do you go about getting more responses to the competitions that you do through Facebook?
Look, it's a good idea if you want to. I mean, it's about how far and wide you can get that competition happening. So you can invite your customers to share the competition to their family and friends. So perhaps offer some incentive. So if one of your friends or family wins the competition, you can get a 10% discount on your next purchase. So, so that's just food for thought. You need to be creative about the kind of incentives you offer people to spread the word.
Natalie has asked whether or not a paid Facebook ad strategy decreases your engagement in the long term.
Look, in a word, no. Paid advertising should work in conjunction with your engagement strategies. So, if anything, effective advertising should increase your engagement because you're putting yourself before people who may never have heard of you before. It gives you the chance to target your messages to them, to people who have an interest in the kind of thing you do.
I think just to give you an example, from CCIQ's perspective, we now do paid advertising on Facebook for things like webinars, and we've not seen any decrease in our overall engagement. Actually, it's been quite the reverse. We've increased likes amongst relevant audiences and grown our reach and our audience that way. So I think if your targeting is right and your ads are good, you shouldn't see any drop off from an engagement perspective. Ruth wants to know about Pinterest and whether or not you can add a Pinterest button to your pics on your Facebook page.
You can add an additional tab for Pinterest on your Facebook page, and this can be done via developer apps, toolbox. You also need to ensure you have an active Pinterest account before you do that.
We've got another question about getting likes, and this time in particular to likes onto photos. How do you go about getting more likes onto your photo content?
Look, as we mentioned during the webinar, you can encourage people to like or comment on your photo. So you can make it a call to action. And also you can talk about asking people to like or comment or share for a chance to win, say, 20% off the next purchase. And you can ask questions too. That's a good idea. You want to interact with people. So do you like our new design and packaging, for instance, and get their feedback that way. It's a good way to test new branding too.
Yeah, I think there's a good brand out there. Nick Scarley Furniture do a lot of stuff on Facebook at the moment, and they're often posting photos of either product or of, sometimes it'll be their specific own product, or others it'll be of, dream houses and locations and that sort of thing. And they always tend to ask can you describe this kitchen in 3 words, or what would you, drink while you sat on this sofa out by your pool? And I think that's a really good way of looking at it, is think of it as more than the photo, and think of it as how you're going to go about engaging it, because ultimately Facebook's another channel. How will you use it to grow that reach? Next question has come in from Melanie, who wants to know what's the best way of getting followers to come back to your page if you're a service-based business?
Yeah, right. As mentioned, you need to provide meaningful and useful content, and that will keep your market engaged and wanting to come back. And look, as I suppose we gave an earlier example where not necessarily all your posts have to be about selling your product and service. You can also think about what would be valuable to your target market. It might not always be about you. It might be about also sharing things that people might be interested in, that other professional bodies are doing, that kind of thing. Just posting on, looking at topics that they'll be interested in that, may relate to your business but aren't directly about your business. It's really about you being a place that they want to go and find good things to look at and engage with.
Look, that's great. We've actually been pretty swamped with questions today, so because we've got so many coming in, we're not going to be able to get through them in the time we've got available to us at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll take the questions offline and we'll follow up as many as we can and attach those to the email that comes out to you in the next couple of days. So if you have sent through a question and we haven't been able to get through to it, apologies for that, but look out for your email. Your email that will come out in the next day, and we'll answer as many as we can. So unfortunately, we've got to cut it short, but we'll answer all of those offline. thank you very much, Paul, for being our presenter today. Thank you very much for the department for their support with this webinar. As I said, check your emails because you'll get some information from us, including the presentation that Paul took you through today, a recording of the webinar, plus the Q&A, plus the workbook, and also a link to a survey because we do value your feedback, and we're keen to know how engaging, if you like, you found today's webinar. We've got more webinars coming up in the digital learning series over the next few weeks. So if you head to cciq.com.au/events, you'll be able to register there, or alternatively head to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/cciqld, and I've actually pinned to the top of the page a webinar link and listing, so you'll be able to see a pinned post in action and hopefully be able to click through and sign up to some webinars from there. Thank you everybody for taking the time to be with us today, and we'll hopefully see you on another webinar in the near future. Thank you very much.